here today at the Franklin Kitchen Center on Ruggles Street with Bryan Felton. Bryan, we're starting here in, I guess, your start point.
This is where we fabricate all the cabinetry. So we have two builders that build full time for us. Okay. All of our cabinetry is custom made here. They come to our showroom and we design the cabinetry. And then once it's designed, we obviously have our 2 and 3D renderings, but the guys like to have it on their board here, right? These are all different kitchens that are lined up in order, right? So just to show you an example, right? This is all being custom made through the shop. So the guys grab them one at a time. They use our panel saw right here. They use a bunch of nail guns, screw guns, glue. You have a dado machine here, another table saw here, a chop saw. So this is really where the magic starts happening, right?
Putting all the pieces together.
I'm putting all the pieces together. And you know, we don't use anything cheap. Everything is top notch and everything is top of the line that we use here. You'll see all of this comes from Spain, believe it or not. Yep, from Spain, because it's the lightest weight plywood that they make.
Okay.
Okay. We have some 3/4. All of our ends are made out of 3/4 finished ends. All of our 1/2 inch is floors and rough ends, and then we have our 1/4 inch backs right here. Now, if there's a species of wood that the customer wants, this is all primed for painted. If they wanted walnut, cherry, white oak, right, that's the 3/4 that we use, which is more like over here, right, in this area.
Give it that finished look.
To give it that finished look, exactly. All of our interiors are all pre-finished, right? And I'll explain in the next department why that is.
Sure.
But yeah, so this is more or less where we put the boxes together. If you come around here, right, you see the box being put together. We put the frames on. These are all of our face frames that we make right here. This is a base cabinet, right?
Okay.
Right? And it's all per job. The job that they're working on right now is a custom closet, all right? So this is the closet that they're making. Now, at the end, I'll show you what the customer sees. They see the 3D renderings.
Sure.
They don't want to see this, but the guys need this for all the numbers.
Sure. To make sure that all the ends meet properly, it glides together where there's shelving, it closes together with a nice little edge.
You got it. And organization is key. My OCD comes into play here. So a lot of these drawers are all labeled for different staples, different tape that we use, different putty that we use. Very organized, so nothing really gets missed. So after the cabinets get built, all right, we put the cabinets in this area. The face frames obviously go on in this area. We have the box. They have this little area to glue the face frames on, and then they move to this area. This area right here, we sand all of the cabinets. You know, we prep them. We put all of the tape in between, and this is why I told you about the pre-finish over there.
Yes.
The interiors are all pre-finished, right? Because what we do is we tape right here and we cardboard from underneath. So if you see that cabinet right there, you'll see the cardboard. Right. So that way the paint and clear or whatever we finish the cabinetry does not get inside of the cabinets.
Well, it also makes it easier for you to work because you're not painting inside that or
you're
finishing inside that.
You're not a contortionist. You know, 20 years ago, they didn't have pre-finished plywood. Now, you know, back then when I first started, we were painting all like this, and you get drips everywhere. Now everything is just clear. It's just nice, easy, consistent pre-finished maple inside here. So yeah, so we'll. For painted cabinets, we obviously use the Bondo, right? Like car Bondo. So it's, again, top of the line stuff. We're not using spackle where spackle cracks and everything. We actually use a hardener, the Bondo with the hardener. Right. So this is hard as a rock. We'll sand this, and then once we paint it, it's flawless. You don't see anything.
You won't see anything.
Now, if this were, say, a wood species, which unfortunately I don't have any wood species in here, like walnut or white oak, we use white oak putty, walnut putty, right? But for painted, we use car Bondo.
Sure.
All right. Okay. And everything in here is unfortunately painted. So, and I forgot to mention, all of our frames and doors for painted cabinetry are maple, and I'll explain why. People use poplar. You go to box cabinets. You go to cheaper custom cabinetry. If you see poplar, run. Okay. Because that is a soft, not a dense wood at all. And when you paint it, it doesn't lay flat. You'll see all the grain marks throughout the whole door. Okay. All right. So with custom cabinetry, it's a little bit more money. We pay for it, but it's a better product in the end.
And it's the expense up front, but then you've got that quality for years. Years.
This is a one-stop shop. Once you get this, if you're, say, 30, 40 years old, you won't have to buy a kitchen ever for the rest of your life. It's going to be timeless. And it's going to be, you won't ever have to call back for any mistakes. And if there, and you know, I hate to jump around here, but if there is any mistakes. We're very, qualified, accommodating. We always, customer service is our number one.
Sure.
So this right here is where we scuff and sand all of our doors, all of our smaller product. These are downdraft tables. They refilter the air, right? So it sucks down and it filters the air and the clean air comes out. We probably have to clean these a couple times a month, right? There's filters underneath here. But this is where we scuff all of our doors, all right? Our doors are all over here. So for example, this is already primed. And if we want to scuff it, we would bring it over here. And if you don't mind the noise for 1 second, I can show you. I can actually turn it on.
Sure.
It might blow a little bit at you, Steve, so you might want to step over there to the side.
That side.
Yep. So this is where all of the dust, when you scuff or sand, we have our sanders, which I'll get to in a minute. All of the dust just goes straight down, right? Now, I'm gonna turn on the air first. Right? And
Sounds like a vacuum.
It's a vacuum. This is sucking in right here, all these 5 holes.
So as you're sanding, it's sucking in.
So I'm actually doing both. So I turn this on and this on, okay? I'm getting the dust up and down. So obviously the guys, sometimes they wear masks.
Sure.
But it limits all the dust, right? And the guys like that.
All right, so this is the next step in the process.
Yep, once it's sanded, cardboarded, and basically ready to be primed or sealed, depending on what finish they select.
Right.
We just put this spray booth in last year. It's a state-of-the-art spray booth. It's a downdraft system, right, where it actually takes the air from the outside and recirculates it throughout. So it's always clean air. There's no dust.
So all the spraying is done in there.
All the spraying is done inside there, almost like a car booth, except we do cabinets.
Yeah.
All right. Before we had this, we had a spray booth over here, and basically it took all the air from the outside of the shop. So dust was, even though we had filters on the doors, dust got its way in. And then when you're spraying finish, that's no bueno when you're trying to get a nice finish, right? So we end up putting this in, and now all the dust stays out there, and no dust stays in here, okay? So
this is as close to a clean environment as you can get.
As you can, right? So we have 2 air assist spray systems right here.
Sure.
We have this is for painted, and this is for clear, right? Yep, and it sucks it right up. Basically, when you turn it on, it's not on right now, but when you go to spray, it sucks up the paint, goes through here. This is the air, and this is the liquid, and when it comes out right here, I'll show you. This is where the liquid comes out, okay? Yep, you got it. This is where the fluid, this is the air comes through here, the fluid comes right through here, and then at this perfect point, it sprays out here, and there's a little tip in here, right? And it is very, very fine-tuned.
One pass and you're done.
Correct, yeah, pretty much. So you'll see all this is primed, this isn't finished yet, this still has to be scuffed. So you can just put your hand over that.
That is a nice finish.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so these doors have been sprayed on the back. These doors are ready to be painted on the front.
Okay.
Right, so our next thing is, you can see the different colors, which I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
You'll see that this is ready to be painted on the front. A couple things I want to show you. This spray booth has 10-foot doors. So if you wanted to have a bigger cabinet, a bigger island, remember everything's custom. So they don't come in box 3-inch increments. They come custom size. If we got a 16-foot cabinet and we can fit it in the home, we're building a 16-foot cabinet. You'll see in the next department. So these open up all the way to about 8.5 feet.
Give you that maneuverability.
Exactly, exactly. For the most part, we just keep them for the middle. Over here, just gonna move a cart here. But there's a winter mode where you can keep it for a certain amount of degrees, right? So in the winter mode, we keep it constantly 70 degrees in there. Costs a lot of money, costs a lot for gas, but it's worth it for a good product. Sure. There's also one other button here, it's a cure start, okay? And what that does is this bakes it. If we're not in a rush, but we're in a busy season and we need to dry a rack of doors, instead of drying in an hour, you want to dry it in 5 minutes. The spray booth operator comes out, shuts the doors, presses that button, lights shut off, and it bakes it. It ramps it up to 140 degrees in there. Wow. Right? So in about, like I said, about 5-10 minutes, you can take that doors and hang it on a cabinet because it's dry. Yeah. Right? So to talk about our paint, we're talking about our air assist system over there, right? So we have, we order all of our products from Camser Chemicals. They're literally right down the street. Now they're just a distributor. They're not the manufacturers of the paint. Our actual product actually comes from Italy, okay? It's called Ilva. This gets imported. And we can make this into any paint. Now this particular product is a clear base, right? But if you wanted to give us a paint chip, okay?
Any color in the
Any color.
spectrum.
You Benjamin Moore, Sherman-Williams, Fowler and Ball, whatever you want. We take the paint chip, we drop it off at Camser Chemicals, they make it so we can paint it. And all of our paint is a polyurethane base. All right? So we get the polyurethane base paint here, and all of our finish is polyurethane base. It's actually very compatible, right? The paint and the clear are really the same thing. It's just the base is clear and the base is paint. It's really the same product. And what we do with that product, we mix it right here. We have a hardener, right? You'll see the acrylic hardener. And then you'll have the thinner right here. Clear thinner, right? Thinner. It's actually a 32-ounce product, 16-ounce hardener, 5 ounces of thinner. All right? And then we mix that right here, and then we can be able to mix it into the pot, which we have bigger ones of these, and we bring it over there.
So you're you've working with the customer. They've given you the custom selection of the paint and or finish they're looking for.
That's it.
You work with the distributor to do that. Then you remix for the job.
Yeah, correct.
And what you're going to do inside.
You're correct. Yep. We take the product, which is this is the product, right? This is the PL800, which is what we use for our paint. So right here, you notice this is PL800. That's the base white paint. So if you come in and say, Brian, I just want my cabinets white. This is what I'm using. Okay? If you tell me you want Booth Bay Gray, you want Chantilly Lace, you want, these are all different colors. This is the same product. If you look, it's PL800, PL800. It's the same product.
Is the
They're tinting it for the color. That's it. I'm not going to Benjamin Moore. I'm not going to Sherman-Williams and pulling this off the shelf. That's not what we're doing here. All I'm doing is getting the paint chip. You're giving it to us so we can get it for cabinet grade paint. But it's the same color. It's the same exact formula. Right? So that's how we use all of our paints. So what happens is after it gets primed, the cabinets, you'll see all these cabinets behind you, Steve, are all primed. They're ready to be scuffed. When it gets scuffed, what we do is we turn on this dust collection system. I'm going to turn it on briefly and I'll turn it right back off. Again, work area. You see all the dust goes right into here. So this is where all the scuffing of the cabinetry is done, all right? And then our next department is the hardware department.
So this is almost the finished piece, and then you make it the finish when you put the hardware on it.
That's
and
correct.
In some cases, you may do the hardware at the installation, or would most of it?
All of the handles and knobs are done at the installation, but all of the drawer boxes, door hanging, hinges, slides, that's all done in our hardware department. That's done in-house.
Right.
So Steve, this is where originally started of putting all the hardware together, meaning hanging doors, drawer boxes, everything. Right. We are growing, right? We are vastly growing. So we have 2 hardware departments. When this place gets overwhelmingly busy and just not enough room, we actually have another warehouse area that I'll show you next. Okay. So when the cabinetry is finished, this is going to be part into this room. These are 2 full kitchens that are pretty much ready to be installed. You'll see it separated by cardboard. There's a kitchen behind there. There's a kitchen right here on top of here. This is where, again, all of our doors, all of our drawer boxes have soft close slides. All of our doors are soft close. That's across the board. We don't do anything else. Right. Soft close doors, soft close drawers, dovetail drawer boxes. No matter what style you pick, that's what you're getting. Right.
So the installation of all those sliders, hinges for that type closing.
It's all done here. It's all the same. And if you ever go to our showroom, you'll see the different styles. I can't really show you that here. Most of them are partial overlay that are put together here, but we have an inset style, partial overlay style, full overlay. It's really where the door lands on the frame. Right. But the box is the same. That's what I want people to stress. I want to stress to people. The box is the same. It's not changing. Right? It's just where the door lies on the frame. Sure. Because all of our cabinets have a face frame. Yep. Right? Where European style cabinetry is just plywood with edge banding, right? Box cabinets, same thing. It's just plywood with edge banding. It's not a nice cabinet. It's not it's not for longevity, right? This is for longevity. I could throw this cabinet off a 2-story building and this probably won't even break, right? It is glued, screwed, and tattooed, right? It's the purpose of people paying premium for custom. That's what they deserve, right?
It'll last for the lifetime of the building, the apartment, the
You got
house.
it. Yep, exactly.
Certainly their lifetime at least.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so right here, like I said, there's a partial overlay kitchen here. There's actually 2 partial overlay kitchens here. And you'll see all of the drawer fronts have been put on. These are ready to be put in. These 2 kitchens are going out. Today is Tuesday. These 2 kitchens are going out next week. There's actually a kitchen in our warehouse area that's going out tomorrow. So these rooms empty pretty quickly, right? It's just replenishing them.
So roughly, while we've gone through the different processes, roughly from beginning through to heading out the door, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Just estimated on an average, because clearly there's going to be variability based upon the complexity of the set itself.
Correct.
Too.
So usually I would say from start to finish, it usually takes about a week and a half to 2 weeks, right? From start to finish, but getting you in that order. Correct. Right now, we're 16 weeks out. People give me a deposit. Steve, you give me a deposit today, we're not starting your kitchen tomorrow, right? You're gonna wait in line for the next person. Sure. So just because we can get it done in 2 weeks doesn't mean it's getting done in 2 weeks, correct, right? Right now we're booking out, we're in late July now, we're booking out into November right now.
Now, a bunch of your materials, as you've mentioned, coming through, you've got things from Spain, things from Italy. Yeah. Certainly there's lead time for some of those as well, which you have to factor in. Yeah,
no, not really. Our paint, when I drop it off, it's usually done within a week. Our plywood I can get next day, right? Even because it's not, it's made in Spain, it's made in Italy, but it's already stocked in the United States. Okay. So we order all of our plywood from Robert Berry, which is in Walpole. And they are usually pretty good. Within 2 days, I have all the plywood. Okay. And they usually stock it. So that's basically, there's not really much lead time as far as ordering materials. Right.
Some of the pricing with the gyrations and the tariffs.
Yeah, so the tariffs did. Things. Yeah, so the tariffs did. I had to make a decision if we were going to keep it's called Garnica, the plywood that we use. I showed you in the first room is called Garnica, and it comes from Spain. I had to make a decision because those prices did rise. And we did have a couple price increases over the past year because of the tariffs, but I didn't want to outsource the plywood somewhere else and lesser the quality. I wanted to keep the quality the same, so I just bit the bullet and I said, we're just going to keep Garnica. I mean, the salesman would come in and say, well, why? We have this other product. I said, I don't care. This is the best in the market. I want to keep the best in the market, and that's what I have in my showroom, and I don't want to have something different. Even though the ordinary customer like yourself might not notice it, it's true to my heart that I don't want to give you something that's a lie, right? So that's what I keep, being honest.
Yeah, no, that's good. So I think to quickly summarize, effectively they would visit your showroom on East Central.
22 East Central Street. You can either Shayna, Michaela, or Josh all work there, and they all are more than capable in helping you. We can set up an appointment. Josh would usually come out to your house to do the measurements, and then within 48 hours, we would provide an estimate to you on how much the kitchen is worth.
Based upon the choices you have, what colors, finishes,
not
styles.
Even colors, just linear footage. Just linear footage. And then I'll give you an estimate, just a ballpark. You would then come to the showroom, and that's when we fine-tune things. You look at the renderings of your kitchen. You pick out the style. You pick out the colors. You pick out all those things. Then we fine-tune the price. Sure. Right? And then from there, to give you the renderings, we ask for a $500 design deposit. Sure. That's for yours to keep. Now that design deposit goes towards your kitchen. So it's not an extra cost. If you use us, it's minus $500, sure, right? And then for you to get in the queue, it's 50% deposit. Yep. And then you get in line. We give you an installation date, a buffer of 2 weeks installation date, and that's around those 2 weeks. That's when it usually happens.
You'll provide updates, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly.
But ultimately, you'll get a quality product installed, and then you can enjoy it for the rest of the time.
Exactly. So Steve, we're in the warehouse area. I explained in the last area that it gets overwhelming in there. It's too small. So last year we took over this spot. You'll see some hardware being put together right here. These are finished cabinetry. This is going out in a couple days. This gives you a better look at, there's no fronts on any of these cabinets. There's no door fronts, drawer fronts. So you can see all how we install the soft close slides. You have some rollouts in here, right? Just different things for this cabinetry.
But this is the same type of work that's done in the other room as well.
This is the same type. This is the same type of work. Exactly. So in here, it's a little bit easier to put stuff together. You already have the dovetail drawer boxes that are all labeled on these shelves right here. You already have some of the hardware that's stocked heavily over on here. So it's a little bit easier. So down the road, I might transform this whole room into a hardware room, finished product, and then all of the storage which we have in here, which stores all of our slides. It stores, I'll talk about the box cabinets in a minute, but it stores all of the inserts, right? So all the trash inserts. It stores everything in here. So it's an ideal spot for hardware. So I might just give that room to the spray guy for just more drying space, right? And then I started talking to you off camera about this. I own the building, so down the road, hopefully sooner rather than later, there's another identical spot just like this on the other side of this building. So my hope is that all of this warehouse, all these tracks, all these shelves, these will all go over there. So this would be an empty floor for stuff like this. And we can have rows and rows of kitchens right here and just put them together, and then right out the door, which this is the overhead door where we back up the box truck, and all of the finished product just goes out this door. If you step outside quickly here, we also have another access point. We have a loading dock over there, which we can go off of that garage as well, right? But this is ideally where we load up. We load up the box truck. A truck left this morning with a full kitchen, and it just keeps repeating itself. I wanted to briefly mention this. So last couple years, we've been noticing that, not everyone can afford custom kitchens, right? Not everyone can afford it, right? So we started carrying a semi-custom line, right? Now, this is not what we push, but we want to accommodate all customers, right? So if customers come in, they want to do a custom kitchen, we end up pricing it out. They said it's just too much. And then we offer them the semi-custom line, right? Now, those are increments of 3, right? So custom is custom. If you have a 16, like I remember I saying earlier, if you have a 16-foot run, it's a 16-foot cabinet. These are all cabinets that get screwed together, right? Piece parts. You got it. That's a good product. I won't sell anything with MDF, particle board, all that stuff.
You still have to give it the quality touch that you have.
So if you look at these, this is all plywood, right? Solid face frame, right? I searched and searched and searched of a box line that I was happy with, right? And this is what I came up with.
Stuff that you could have made.
Could have made. But I'd rather just sell this at a lower price point so the customer's satisfied, we're satisfied, everyone's happy. So we just started selling this last year. We've had a ton of success with it. Again, we don't push this because I'd rather keep the shop busy. I'd rather keep our core custom intact. But we do offer this. We probably put, I would say on an average, maybe 2 to 3 kitchens a month in of the semi-custom line. But it's something that we just to offer the make sure that they know that we offer it now.
Complete suite of products for the customers that you're servicing.
Exactly. But yeah, so this is more or less, like I said, just the extended warehouse of the shop that's just overloaded with stuff. Going a little bit back on my background, I started in 2003, right? I bought the business 6 years ago. We've expanded from 4 guys, and now we're up to 12.
Whoa.
Right. So we've definitely, plus we have the people in the office. So we've definitely grown substantially over the last 6 years. We've gone fully digital and that's a thanks to Michaela and everyone in the office.
In terms of programs,
you got it, because everything when I started was drawn on a piece of paper. Now everything's digital. That's the way of the world now. So everyone can see everything. We're working on a customer portal right now. Everything's it's all online versus on paper. So we're switching everything over to paper to digital, which is very helpful for the younger generation here. It's sort of hard for the older guys here, but we're trying to train them. So that's a big plus, and I think that's really pushed our business forward, is having that digital marketing versus a standard custom cabinet shop. Is a lot of old school. A lot of guys in this trade are older. I'm 40 years old. I feel like I'm the youngest owner of a custom cabinet shop. I think all the guys are in their 60s. So that's what, thanks to our team here, that's why we're so successful. starting with me, going down to the showroom, going down to all the guys who even scuff, sand. It doesn't matter. Everyone's equally important in this company for it to run.
Whoever's putting in the last
Doesn't
screw
matter.
in the
Everyone's
installation to
everyone's
finish it
equally
off.
important. It doesn't matter. Right. No one's higher than anybody else. Yeah. You do your job right, you do your job well, we'll be successful as a company, and that's why we've continued to grow. Our revenue has gone up every year, and I just don't know when it's going to stop, which is fine.
That's a happy problem.
That's a happy problem. That's a happy problem. There's different types of stress, right? You got the stress that you're not busy enough, and you stress that you're too busy. And right now we're stressed because we're too busy, but we've added more help, so it's sort of easing the pain a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, so that's more or less
what you've got.
What I've got here.
And I think you've been rather thorough going from the beginning through to the end, and the shipping product going out the door.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for taking time today
Thanks, Steve.
to
Thanks for coming.
explain.
I really appreciate you coming.
Hopefully the Franklin residents and those in the area, because clearly you're not bound by a particular graphic. It just says Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, majority of our work, I would say 50% of our work is in Franklin, but we go to the Cape. We're going to a job in Vermont. We do jobs all over New England. Sure. But you are right. It's mostly within a 15, 20-mile radius of Franklin is our bread and butter, is where we want to keep people happy because it's in our name. Sure. Right? So, but we take care of everybody who walks through the door.
Well, thank you again
Thanks,
for doing
Steve.
this.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Take care.
And a quick reminder, we do this because Franklin matters.